It was like a reset button. We hit a reset button because, I mean, honestly, we were going out there to meet Tony, and he signed,
and Stephanie.
Yeah, and Stephanie, and he signed the camper, which was totally cool.
This was his profile,
mm-hmm.
and I was honored that he would, put his signature on the camper.
And I've never been camping like that before, so it was a definite eye opener for me. And I did it for 48 hours, and I think I did a good job of it. But if the mosquitoes,
I was good. I could have.
If the mosquitoes weren't there, I would have been able to stay longer. Yeah. But the mosquitoes were absolutely horrible. And then we found that crack, and everything's filthy, and you couldn't get away from the filth. And I was just like, I was done. So.
All right. So.
So we went to Hotsprings. Wow. Beautiful.
Yeah, so they had these hot springs. They had two pools. One was a hot pool, like a jacuzzi.
Like 107.
Yeah, it was so hot that you had to get used to it.
When you got in, it had rocks all on the bottom of it. It was so pretty. And
they drain these pools every night and refill them every morning. And then they have another spring where they refill, but they mix in some cold spring water.
So there's a little pathway from one to the other, and the weather was still cool. So when you're in this 107 and you get out, it's chilly down that little pathway to get to the other one. It was fun.
And it was about 98, 99 degrees.
Yeah.
And it was like warm bath water, and you could just stay in it all day.
Yeah, and it was a lot bigger. I mean, it was like a regular...
That's where everybody hung out.
A big, huge pool. The really hot one was smaller and kind of intimate. But the really, the really big one, the water wasn't all that hot.
It's just beautiful, too. Good, clear water.
Yeah. It was good weather, too. It didn't lighten. There's no lightning. There was no thunder. It was great.
Nice campgrounds. That was a good experience.
And then Rue and Yumi ended up meeting up with us there, and they stayed one night.
The second night.
The second night that we were there, and then we left, and we headed on to Yellowstone.
Yep. So at this point, we're only like 4 hours from Yellowstone, and we pull into Yellowstone. We get our camping spot. We drop off the camper. We go down
We go to Madison.
Yeah, we stayed at Madison Campgrounds. We go down and we look at all the hot springs.
Yep.
At Biscuit Basin, I think.
Yep, Biscuit Basin.
And then we went to Old Faithful. Hey everybody, we made it into Yellowstone Park. First place we stopped off at was, where did we sit? We went up and saw some geysers on the way in. Then we made our own way down towards Old Faithful. And we come across Great Geyser Basin, I think is the name of it. And there's some wonderful geysers here and some absolutely beautiful bacteria that's growing around. And even though it's a Saturday, it's not an overly crowded day at all. We've seen, the parking lots kind of fill up, but we haven't had a problem getting in and out of spaces. We did drop our camper and elected to drive the first day without the camper. And I'm glad we did, because there's some places that are difficult to get in and out of with campers.
Yeah.
So anytime we can leave the camper behind, we're going to try to do that. I don't know how we're going to be able to do that over the next 2 days, because we're just driving from camp to camp. Whereas today we drop the camper and come down and seeing the geysers. And then we're going back tonight and cook. We've seen a couple of buffalo. We've seen some very daring people getting really close to the buffalo.
That's crazy.
I'm not going to call them crazy, but
They're crazy.
They're a little more risk takers
That's
than
okay.
I am.
I'll call them crazy.
All right, we're going to go around and see some more stuff.
We just finished cooking. We're having burgers and tots.
So we just went out to Old Faithful and all the Geyser Basin area and saw most everything down there. The only thing that we missed was Prismatic Springs
And the Fairy Falls.
Fairy Falls. We're going to go, what the plan is, we're going to get up early. We're going to take our coffee pot and generator with us. We're going to go off somewhere.
Well, they have little, like, I guess scenic views where you can just pull out and see everything. So we're going
rogue. We're going rogue, and we're going to crank the generator before hours, and we're going to make coffee. And we're going to go down to Prismatic Springs, and we're going to have
watch the sunrise
at the springs. So that's the plan. It's 9:10 in the evening. I want to say evening, but the sun's still up over the mountains. We probably have another hour and a half of daylight here, which is crazy. We're past summer solstice. We're almost to 4th of July, and it's going to get down to 33 degrees tonight here where we are.
We're so excited.
Yeah, the day high was 77. I think tomorrow's supposed to be cooler. Our third day, the high is 63 while we're here.
Wonderful weather.
We're heading down to Tetons the third day. So, yeah, enjoying it. Having burgers on the Scottle. We're having miniature
it's
tots.
8:07, and you can still see that there's daylight. It's 8:07.
Not only daylight, the sun is up.
Right. It's crazy.
All right. We sat around till Old Faithful went off. Then after that, we had we went over to the lodging area where they had showers.
Yeah.
And so they gave us the code to get into the showers so we could take showers because we were already camping over at Madison.
Yeah, and by the way, whenever you stay at those campgrounds at Yellowstone, you can go to the bigger parks, like Madison had a shower, down at Old Faithful, Mammoth
They're
had
like
a
little
shower.
villages,
So they have little villages and little camping,
cafeterias,
places.
hotel rooms, cabins.
So
Yeah, it's a nice little setup.
Grant had a shower, so it was nice.
So we go back to the camper, we camp out there for the night. We wake up the next morning and we decide, wouldn't it be nice to go out on one of the grassland areas, crank up the generator, make some coffee,
Yeah.
shut off the generator,
Yep.
watch the sun come up,
Oh, it was
and look
beautiful.
for animals and watch the
Yeah.
geysers and all that stuff.
Yep.
So we went out and we did that. Good morning, everybody. We're in Yellowstone. The sun's coming up. It's 37 degrees. And we're out here on the flats where there's a lot of volcanic activity. So you can see a lot of steam pots. Haven't seen much for wildlife, but we're definitely the first ones out here. Just taking it in. It's beautiful. Nice crisp morning. Sun coming over the mountains. Coffee. And the first car of the day. If you look over the trees, and if Michelle can zoom in, there's a where all the geysers are at. There's a big head of steam that's floating around on the top of the trees.
that was in between. That was after we stayed at Madison and on our way to Mammoth. And we had a nice little trip along the way and stopped and saw places. And then we got to Mammoth.
These are the bathrooms, and they're pretty clean. I'm gonna show you the women's. At least there's a flushing toilet. So here's the women's. 3 stalls. There's a heater. Nice and clean. And then also something I thought was pretty cool was that there's a washing station. So this is set up for you to wash your dishes. I haven't seen this anywhere else. Open the door and it's literally just a little 1-stall room where you can go in and wash your dishes. It's a pretty deep sink too. But all right, on to the next campground.